Welcome back, y'all. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I have done a Bible study, like several months. I know you probably are like, where has this girl been? I have been doing the daily Psalms, which we finished in May. And the Lord had already put it on my heart before 2025 even got here that we would be doing James in June. That's how He gave it to me, James in June. And so this is the intro to James. This is a short, hopefully, just a short video just to kind of dive in, give you the background, give you all the details for James before we get into it. And so, yeah, we're doing James. And y'all, I love James. I have read this book probably more times than any New Testament book. Yeah, I feel like that's probably a good estimate. I have read this book so many times. I love it. And the fact that we get to do it together on this journey, like, I'm here for it. And so, jumping into James, James is all about getting in our business. James is very direct, very practical, and he's about getting your life together. And so, just a little bit about the author James, and it's not just any disciple or anybody that just kind of. This is Jesus's biological brother. Okay, this is his brother who he grew up with. That is leading the first century church and truly a huge pillar in the first century church. And so James at first did not believe Jesus was the Son of God. He did not believe that he was the Messiah. I don't know if you knew that, but he did not believe. It was not until Jesus was resurrected and James saw for himself, oh my gosh, my brother, he is who he said he was. I thought he was crazy, but he's not. Like, he saw it for himself and it caused him to believe. And so it just makes me think about those who are skeptical, who, they're not really sure about this whole Jesus thing. Is he really who he said he is? His own brother felt this way. And Jesus made a believer out of him. So take heart. You're in good company. Don't even worry about it. Jesus is who he says he is. And I love the word because it declares that and it shows that from Genesis to Revelation. And so, just a little bit about James, because I was researching, reading and looking up different things. Because I always try to go in with fresh eyes, even though I have read this book a lot of times, a lot of times, countless times. I feel like it's always good to go in with every book, every chapter, every verse with fresh eyes. And let me tell you, I reading James this time around felt like, had I read James before? Like, have I read James? Because Lord, you out here showing the things. And so one of the names that James was called was James the Just, and you may know that name, know him as James the Just. But did you know him as Old Camel Knees? Yeah, that's what I said. Old Camel Knees. Old Camel Knees. I cracked up. I'm not gonna lie. Reading it, I was cracking up. I was like, why would they? Who gave him this name? And so the story behind it is because James spent so much time in the temple, so much time praying on his knees for the Jews' salvation and forgiveness from the Lord. His knees became as hard as camels. And so I'm like, maybe we're doing something wrong, y'all. When you praying, are you praying enough? Are your knees as hard as camels? Yeah, I'm just saying it's dedication. And so that was his name. That's the name that he got from prayer. I mean, but I feel like that also goes to show you the kind of leader that he truly was. And I love it. His name also is Jacob in Hebrew, Yaakov in Hebrew. And so as we build up to James writing these letters, let me just give you the background of what was going on. Why did he write these letters? And so you have Jesus, he has resurrected, he has shown himself, he has ascended, but he has also left this command of to go and make disciples into the ends of the earth, into all the nations. And so he leaves us with the Great Commission. And that wasn't just for the first century church, that was for all of his disciples. Now back then, going forward, for all his disciples, we are to go and make disciples in all the nations. And so, with that being said, that's exactly what begins to get into play. So, you have the first church, they're setting up, and I encourage you to read Acts. I went back through Acts in April and it blessed me so much. I'm like, there were some stories that I'm like, did I never read Acts? Because I don't even remember this. Read Acts. Acts sets the stage for James and why he's writing this, to those who are about to be scattered. So in Acts, after Jesus has done the things in the first church is setting up all the things, they're doing things with the community, they're coming together, they're meeting, they're discipling, they're baptizing, they're doing all the things. In that, the persecution becomes heavy, heavy, heavy. With that being said, Stephen the martyr, who was, I love his story. He is probably one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Strangely, I mean, it's his death, but read his story. Stephen goes off. I'm in the best way, and from beginning to end, showing that Jesus is who he always said he was from the beginning to the end. And because of that, him doing that in front of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they stone him to death. They kill him. Whole mob. But guess who's in the crowd? Good old Saul, aka Paul. He don't even know his life about to get wrecked. He's there condoning the things. He is right there in the crowd as Stephen is being martyred. And so this sets off a chain reaction of persecution. Saul is literally going from city to city, town to town, trying to find Christians to persecute, to kill, to execute, like literally trying to do the things. And so, with that being said, people start dispersing, they start scattering, they start spreading out, and they end up going, spreading out in Judea and Samaria. I mean, and then when you keep reading, people were also going to Turkey, Asia, Greece, all over the place. And so, sorry, y'all, I'm outside. The Lord wanted me outside. I'm like, why it seems like it's extra loud today? We're gonna be obedient. I'm gonna see if I can get some noise reducing something. But yeah, so they get scattered, and in them being scattered, James writes this beautiful letter to one, encourage them to persevere through trials, to care for the poor, to tame their tongue, to seek God's wisdom, but most of all, to live out their faith. This was not the time to be quiet. This was not the time to, back down and you know what, I'm gonna just lay down, be low key. This was not that time to do that. It was time to live out loud. And as you can see, the climate that we're in, even today, with the 70 Christians that were beheaded, the other Christians, I think Easter, the day before Easter, or like that weekend, that were also, martyred and killed, women, children, men. We are in that now. And so, again, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. Persecution will be here. And it may be in death, and it could be in many other different ways, but we are to expect that portion of us being persecuted. And so James writes this letter to encourage us that through the trials, we are to hold on to our faith and we are to live it out. Faith is not something to just be close to our hearts, and faith is an action word. We are to live out what the word says, because when we live out our faith, even if persecution comes, even when persecution comes, people around us get to see the glory of God. People around us get to see that God is who he says he is. Jesus is who he says he is. And so it just, I love James. I love James. And so, and as used to say back in the day, I feel like this is the summary of James. Stop talking about it and be about it. We don't want to hear chatter. Stop talking about it and be about it. That is truly the summary of James. And so if you're looking to grow in the spirit, if you are tired of every time a trial comes, you're choosing everything but God, if you're ready for Jesus to be in every part of your life, ready for your faith muscles to be strengthened, for you to be built up in the spirit to endure, then this Bible study is for you. This Bible study is for you. This Bible study is so for you. And here on my Jesus journey, I am seeking to grow godly, good community, community that shapes us into becoming real disciples in the body, not just Christians in the loosest way, because everybody at this point is calling themselves Christians, and it's a little scary out here. But true followers of Christ, that is what we are building here. And so if that sounds like you, if you're like, yes, let's get into it, like I want to grow, I want to be built up in the spirit, then this is 100% for you. And let's get into the word. Let's let the word do only what the word can do. And that is to transform us from the inside out. That is what the word does. And I want to help you apply that to your life and watch it. I want to hear testimonies. I want to see the comments of what God is speaking and doing in your life and how it's flowing out of your life into other people's lives. Because that is truly why we do what we do. We are living this life not just for us, not just for our own benefit, but for the benefit of those that may be lost, for those that may be struggling. And so, yeah, make sure to hit the subscribe button for all the lessons. This is just the intro. We'll be jumping into every Sunday for the month of June. Sorry, y'all. It's so loud. We'll be jumping into the Bible studies every Sunday. It'll be uploaded. I have to figure out a time, but once I get a time, I'll definitely make sure that you guys have that information. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. I'm like, duh. I mean, I was up last night doing it. So with that, yes, grab your notebook, but also download the free ebook that I am currently creating. I'm creating a James ebook, and it'll be a 5 week devotional that will literally from Monday to Friday walk you through each week and breaking it down in small chunks. Because I think sometimes I'm like this. I like to chew on the word. I don't like to be bombarded with a whole bunch of chapters and then you're trying to pick something. So it is curated so that you guys can just chew on it day by day and really tap into what God is doing in you through us on this journey in James. So yes, hit the subscribe, download it. I'll hopefully it should be done by the time all this stuff is up. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys on the next video.